Hey y'all, just told to come on real quick. Um, just wanted to talk real fast about, I guess, health, and I don't know. Just came back from a viewing, and I don't know. What I mean, well, I have been. I've been putting out a lot of videos on, you know, detoxifications. Everything from what this place is made of, which is, vibration, frequency, energy, numbers, geometry, things like that. And what makes up us as physical beings, us being electromagnetic beings and also vibrating, and at a certain frequency and all. And, what makes up this place and what makes up us as physical beings, other than, talking about spirit or whatever. Everybody know I denounce physical or whatever, but there are some things here physically that can help us with, you know, diseases and ailments. Everything from, like I said, vibration, megahertz and, changing tones, listening to harmonic music while you're sleeping or on your way to sleep, you know, meditation, for example, wow, um, prayer, diet, rest, exercise, um, and then most importantly, like I said, diet. What you eat, and not just dieting, but specifically, I'm being told to continuously say every chance I have, and that is the key word or the simple word without having to learn a lot of this stuff is just simply fasting. And what I mean by fasting, I mean simply going a week you know, to reset the body a week because the body heals itself. But let's say a week, with nothing, because the problem is, without trying to go into it, because I know I'm not going to be, I don't have much storage on my phone. I'm already at 3 minutes. But without going into detail, there's a lot of things that are being done to us, like, along the lines of poison. I know it sounds a little crazy, but everything from aliens that are responsible for putting parasites and fungus and introducing the human body to parasites and fungus to gather information to to take over or to force the physical host to do or think different. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it's all kinds of things that are being done to us along the lines of the word poison. I mean, it's so bad that even the most smartest person on the planet could not tell you a way to get around all the ways that we're being poisoned. And I mean, everything down to, everything from pesticides to GMO to it literally 3D printed food and, drugs and all kinds of things. But moving away from the root system or the plant system to chemical base, it's I guess you could say the healthcare system was probably one of the first phases of it, where instead of us using things like plants, diets, prayer, and resting, vibrational therapy, and things like that, and herbs and stuff, nuts and things like that, grains and all, instead of us using those things, we actually end up relying on the periodic table, which is the concoction of chemicals that a guy in a lab suit puts together that always have side effects. um, Instead of us relying on, the rooted system, the plant system, coming from Earth, us being physical beings here. And, I just wanted to take the time out to let people know, out of all the things that I mentioned, probably the most important thing is, your rest. And of course, if you can exercise, if you're in a position to. And then the most important is literally, like I said, diet, and not just diet, but fasting. And there's a lot of things that goes on with the body when you fast. And me, I haven't even had a chance to practice fasting like I should, but hopefully I'll be in a testament to it in the future. We all get older, we're not getting any younger, and the body starts to decay, the cells start to decay and all. systems start to decay and fall down, especially if we had a rough lifestyle and all. But, there's things that you can do to counteract it, and there's things that you can do to catch the body back up. But it has to be done the same way you look at exercise and resting and eating properly. It has to be done as a way of life, you know. Like for example, if you're fasting, it can't just be done once. You gotta fast, and once you see the impact of you fasting and actually literally going a week with nothing but juices and smoothies and literally no other poisons except for the poisons you can't stop, like your cigarettes and things like that. But when you see the effect that you'll get after, let's say, fasting for a week on simply nothing but juices and really sticking to it, and you'll see how the body has a chance to reset itself. Now, there's still poisons coming from every direction that you can't stop. And it's like I said, even the most intelligent person on the planet can't stop them. So there's no sense of stop. Okay, y'all, I apologize. I'm back. But yeah, I guess where I was is talking about how, fasting is so important. And what I mean by fasting is simply taking the time out to do, the proper juices, good nuts, grains, and things like that to attack the, lymph systems and, the systems that we never really, act on or rehab or fix. Like again, like your nuts and your grains, and a lot of your fruits and vegetables that actually tackle some of the problems that maybe you have hereditary wise. Maybe if your family is known for having kidney issues, lung issues, liver issues, there's a protein out here for every issue that the human body can have and every insect or animal that's on this planet. It's a reason why the dog knows exactly what plant to eat, and the other animals out there, they know exactly what plant to eat to solve their problems. We was once like that, but we just don't rely on, the same things that we used to rely on because we're more civilized now. We're not nomadic. We don't travel the land and, use our senses like we used to. But there are proteins out here. There's a protein for every problem that the human body can have. I mean, I don't like really talking about it, but even things like the HI big thing, things like hepatitis, things like, kidney malfunctions or disorders or diseases, include hereditary issues, liver, pancreas, you know, spleen issues, digestive, some of these issues that we have, just like, you have your German shepherds, they always have hind leg issues, um, you know, we as soul people, as black people, we rely on soul food, which is a lot of deep fried foods that we got from over here, after being introduced to the white man or whatever, or the white man introducing his culture to us. And we've been, becoming a part of this culture. And, just like every other culture that comes to America, they get obese, like Asians, for example. You only find obese Asians pretty much here. You don't really find them there. You find them here after they try to become Americanized and all. And, it's kind of sad, but, there's, something for every problem out there. And, I even said that I was going to get into, literally making shakes and, really mastering making shakes and using that as a form of health, and, getting more and more people from the poverty and stricter areas to indulge in, 3 shakes a day and fasting and spending that money to go to the proper store or farmer's market to get the proper plant or vegetable or seed or nut or grain to put inside their body to counteract all the poison. And, it's kind of like almost like you have to understand it from this standpoint, and that is you can't stop what's happening to your body because it's all done on purpose. It's much bigger plans at hand than just what you're eating right now in the year 2025. I mean, these guys are working on things like transhumanism. And in order for you to understand transhumanism or what's being done to us now as humans, you would have to do a little research. And it's probably not even worth the time. It's probably more better that you just focus on the issue at hand, and never minding what's causing all the issues, but, you know, more or less trying to stop it or fight the issue. You're not going to stop this poison, but you can fight this poison. Um, if I had a magic wand that was able to stop all the poisons that we were getting right now, then you may make it to 200-300 years of living, but there's absolutely no way for the most intelligent person on the planet to stop all these poisons that are being delivered to us on purpose. And it even ties into, like I said, transhumanism in the future and all of human beings. And when you hear me say, there's human beings on the planet now that are not even 100%. And there will be a time, even before we die, where we'll see literally 70%, 80% maybe humans that are on the planet that are not 100% humans. Like literally, the only humans that are 100% humans are the old heads or the ones that are about to die out or whatever. And and even those guys will be persecuted, and they'll pay the price for believing in Christ. So, and that goes into another story, but just to talk about health now and how to reset the body, there's a few things, everything from vibration. If you do research on vibration, you'll be amazed at what vibration does. Listening to a certain megahertz or a certain home or ohm. It's a reason why cathedrals and churches are built in a dome shape, and they give off a certain acoustics, and they only play certain organs, to tap into certain things, because this place is made up of sound, as I said a little bit earlier, as well as geometry, numbers, and a lot of other things. Um, so, resonance is very important here. You'll be amazed. Resonance even ties into lifting, changing the energy or changing the state of this reality, or, moving the state of this reality. Resonance is very powerful if you did research on it. Things like, sleeping properly and not eating, at the wrong times before sleeping. You'll be amazed at what things like that does to resetting the body. The moon, you'll be amazed at what that does to, helping the body. Like I said, sleep, prayer, what these things does to help the body heal. And then more importantly, like I said, what's grown in the root systems out the planet. So the first thing, of course, is, like I said, the fast, man. We all have the power to go online and say, hey, my doctor just told me that I have this and I'm in my second or third stage, but I want to learn more about it, and I want to learn exactly what the opposite is of it. I want to learn what protein combats that cell the most, and put that protein inside of my body. I may be doing chemo, but I'm gonna go ahead and focus on fasting too, as long as my doctor says it's okay, and let my doctor know, hey, this is what I'm fasting. I'm not telling you to go against your doctor. Let your doctor know, hey, I'm fasting on for a week. I'm gonna fast on this as a way to combat not just this issue, but my whole system issue, or maybe multiple system issues that I have. So that overall I can build the health of my body back up over time. And I doubt your doctor's gonna say, no, don't eat no good shakes that's filled with plants and vegetables and seeds and shit. Don't do that. Nuts and grains, don't do that. I doubt they're gonna say that. So, and with that in mind, each and every one of us have a responsibility to research whatever it is problem that we have, and find the nut, grain, the seed, the skin, whatever it is that we have to find, because there's something on this planet that's the opposite of your problem already. It's just a matter of you finding it and putting it in your system, just like that dog, that rabbit, that cat, raccoon or squirrel has to find it. You have the responsibility of finding it as well. And, I'm going to take it a step further. Like I said, I'm literally thinking of some things. I don't want to really talk about them, but they do fall along the lines of fruits, vegetables, and bringing the farmer's market to the hood. It does fall along those lines, and bringing it to the hood in a very tasteful way, in a very healthy way, where you can even buy like literally turmeric or ginseng tablets, right there at that station. You're literally, I'm right on the monitor. It's playing, which barcodes to stay away from, which barcode numbers to stay away from when it comes to your fruits, your vegetables, where to go to get very hard to find fruits and vegetables to solve certain specific areas of the body problems, and literally right in front of your face, peeling it and all, putting the skin right in there in front of your face, literally making that shake for you, and then giving you the receipt so that you can concentrate on that shake for yourself at home on your own personal time, and literally one person at a time, trying to change the health of my hood, because I'm tired of watching my people die. and somebody's got to step up. And so, you know, I'm sure that once I start doing what I'm planning on doing, I'm sure there'll be others to follow suit. And the only thing I can say is salute.